All right, then now it's Christmas time. Well,
Yes.
I'm not sure when this is going to drop, but it is Christmas time right now.
Yes.
And you have One Family Christmas album.
Yeah, which, wow. Literally everybody that's on the title track for that song has passed on, with the exception of my oldest sister. My baby sister's gone, my mother's gone, my grandfather's gone, and we were all on the, my Aunt Celeste is still with us. So everybody else that was on that, I brought everybody in the family together to do the title track. And so, yeah, I can't listen to that song.
I was just going to say, do you listen to it?
I can't. It's too fresh.
It's too much.
It's too fresh, yeah.
Yeah, because Grandma just
she just left me
here.
Yeah.
Okay, 2003, Priceless.
Yes.
Number 10 on Billboard charts. Didn't do as good as the first two.
Did not. We were shifting again. Def Jam.
You left Def Jam after this album,
I did leave Def Jam after that album, but that album was both recorded and released in the midst of another major
Who was
change.
running Def Jam at that time?
So at that time, Leor Cohen left, and one by one, everyone that worked for him was leaving. So then Kevin Liles left. You know, I mean, like everybody that I had been working with on the previous album, one by one, were going over to where Leor was. And so now I'm here with a group of people. Lord, I'm having a L.A. Reid, brain fart moment. L.A. Reid came in and took over. And obviously, it's like, it's no different than if you have a coach coaching a team. If one coach leaves and another coach comes in, they have their priorities, have their favorites, they have their way of doing things, they have their, you know what I mean? They have what they have their eyes on and what they feel is most important. I was no longer regarded as the first lady of Def Soul anymore. And so, yeah, it ended up being that I left. And it was best because we weren't going to see eye to eye on what it was that I
Now,
needed
when
to
you
do.
say leave, do you have to finish a contract and leave?
It was
Or
mutual,
can you...
so I didn't have to.
it was
I didn't
mutual.
have to, yeah. It was mutual. He was not interested in investing time or money in me, and I knew it. He had other priorities.
Sure.
And so it was better that we came to a mutual understanding that I would leave because when it doesn't work out like that, if you have a person that's not interested in pouring into you, you can very well just end up sitting on a shelf for years.
Yeah.
So it was the best thing.
Yeah, that's in any sector, by the way.
Yes.
Even in comedy.
Yes.
Okay, so then you decided to do a live gospel album.
Yes.
Just like Aretha.
Yes.
And Mahalia.
Yes.
And all the girls
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Shirley Caesar.
Yes, I was excited to do that.
Yeah, where did you do it?
Went back home to New York. Did
you go to your home church?
So the church that I started attending as an adult. As an adult, I left my grandfather's church and spread my wings and went and got, because growing up in my grandfather's church, everybody still talked to me like I was 8 and I'm grown with kids. So that's, it wasn't gonna work. So the church that I attended, Bishop White's church, Little Zion in Long Island. So I went back to my church, but my grandfather and my grandmother were there. It was great because I went back to New York. I got to find that footage because I stuck the microphone in my grandma's face at the end of that concert and she wore the people. My grandmother was 4'10" and her voice was more powerful than mine in her heyday.
So then you, I think that you tipped up and linked up with Tyler Perry, correct?
Yeah, that was, what year was that? That was actually before the gospel album.
2005. Was that 2005?
I want to say we toured Why Did I Get Married?
But you recorded the gospel album, it looks like,
in 2005, and it came out in 2006. So I want to say I had already toured Why Did I Get Married in 2003 and 4.
That's what you worked with Tyler on?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stage play.
How did you find working with him?
I had a great
How involved was he?
Yeah. So in the beginning, Tyler walked me through everything. I studied, I learned, I got it. It was the first time he had done a play that Medea was not in. Medea was the star of every play up until then. And so the weight was on me. He went and that's when he started delving into television and going and doing film deals. And we toured that play for almost 2 years.
Do you enjoy theater?
I do.
Would you like to do it again?
I would love to.
Do you want to go to Broadway?
I would love to go to Broadway. If Broadway called, I would answer.
I know.
If Broadway called, I would answer.
I started off in theater as well. Yeah. And I really like it. But that 8 shows a week is a grind.
It's a grind.
And when you have to sing like that, you can't even go holler at the club because you got to protect your voice.
But
I know Layla Hathaway, she damn near whispers everything she said. Hi. Like if she cracks up, she's like...
Layla's voice is like chocolate milk, whether she's singing or talking. Like I always tell you, Her name is Chocolate Milk. Her voice is like chocolate milk.
Yeah, she's very protective of that voice.
She should be.
And yeah, when you have a voice as an institution like yours, you gotta, me, I got this old gruff voice. I used to sing like a bird, and I started hollering on stage. And check out my Can We Talk challenge.
Yes, I'm going to see it. I am.
Okay, so now moving on, lawsuits.
Lawsuits. Which one?
Lawsuits are very painful.
They are.
Very expensive.
They are.
Very time consuming. And very nerve wracking.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So somebody, I think the fundraiser you were supposed to do, nonprofit.
Yes. I wish they would update that because the people did get their money back.
Okay, because they filed a suit alleging that you took the deposit or whatever and then never did the show. Right.
So I sat in an airport. You can actually go to the Weather Almanac. I sat in the airport for 13 hours in Atlanta in the middle of an ice storm, and my plane was not allowed to take off. Mm-hmm. So, but they did get their money
So
back.
That makes missing the event.
I ended up missing the event, because my plane wasn't allowed to take off.
When it's an act of God like that, that's supposed to be a clause.
Since we're talking about, perfect, I do get a chance. So I did have an act of God clause, and which would have canceled out everything. But I actually just said to them, I know you have like 2 other galas coming up. We don't have to call it a cancellation. I'll come and do another one. I'll come and do another one for you. They initially agreed and then came back and said, no, we'd rather have our money back. But it was a force majeure because I literally sat in the airport for 13 hours and we were not allowed to take off.
Yeah.
So they were gung-ho to do it, and they said that they were going to do it, and they actually threatened to do a smear campaign, and they did exactly what they said they were going to do. But I fought it on principle, because if you can do a contract and something like that happens. When I got sick with COVID, I missed several shows. I had a promoter come after me after that. Yeah. I was in the hospital dying the day I was supposed to be on stage. I offered a makeup date. He didn't want it. So, with that in mind, I'm going, then it's a force majeure. Like I was laying in an ICU bed.
Look, shout out to me for being the friend who knew where you were, who knew what you was going through. Yeah. Never said a word.
Yeah, I appreciate
Kelly's
that.
missing. I'm like, I just talked to Kelly 10 minutes ago in my head, but we kept that down. Why were you so secretive about having COVID?
It wasn't that I was being secretive about having COVID, because I actually was the one that broke the news that I had COVID. When it hit me, so I was home a little less than a week. My husband, who everybody knows, he's my husband now, no thanks to me being able to make the announcement, got sick taking care of me. Right. And he got really sick as well. If anybody knows about the way that wave went in the Southeast over the summer, when I went into the hospital, they shut down visitation. Like, you could not men weren't allowed to come to the hospital with their wives having babies when I was in the hospital. Yeah. So I was in the hospital, and I was unconscious for days, actually. My heart did stop. I was medically dead. They were able to resuscitate me. And baby, the wig that I had on when I went into the hospital, I said my wig had COVID. I looked absolutely... Now, my publicist said to me, can you just put up a video? I'm like, no, I can't put up a video. My wig is shifted to I can't do any of that. And so it got out of control. Unfortunately, and I just have to say that it is what it is, I almost got Britney Speared this summer. There was a conservatorship in play by a specific family member. And some of the family did fall out about it. I have a great aunt who actually had something to say to my sister about that and said to her, why would you do that?
They're the ones who started the She's Missing.
Absolutely. So my aunt literally, and so when I talked to her and she's like, I asked her, why would you do that? And her response was, if she dies, he gets it all. Now, I would have never wanted to put this out. My family has had stuff all along.
Meaning
your husband.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Prenup?
Prenup?
You got a prenup?
We have an understanding.
And when you were ill, you were also in the process of moving.
Yes.
Which was a drag.
It was a drag.
Like stuff was packed up.
My whole house was packed up when I got from the hospital. I had boxes and stuff everywhere. And then my house actually ended up having to be my makeshift hospital room. They were trying to get people into rooms. I waited in an emergency room on a gurney for 3 days to get a bed in ICU.
That sucks. Well, now, then there comes the vaccination question.
Yes.
So, were you vaxxed? Are you against it? Are you for it?
I'm not against it for anybody. I'm not for it for anybody because I think everybody's situation is different. I am vaccinated. I would never want to go through what I went through ever again.
It was very serious.
It was really serious. I almost left
because I remember talking to you. You were talking like this. And I said, I wonder how long it's going to be before you're going to be able to sing because your lungs had got really seriously affected.
My right lung was fully diminished. My left lung was almost fully diminished. And so the work that I have put in over the last 3 months.
To even hear your voice now.
To be able to speak.
Is way different than what you were sounding like when you were sick. I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, it's going to be probably a year before she could sing again.
It could have taken that long, but I literally I got vigilant, Lou. I was like.
What do you think were some of the things that helped you through?
Protecting my peace. I can't look out for everybody.
Henceforth, the disappearance.
Absolutely. I can't be the ATM machine, the person that you call the vent to every day.
I'm sick.
And I'm sick. So, people wouldn't have to notice if other people didn't put it out there. But the reality of it is that people are used to being able to call me for everything. And my life was on the line. I chose to live.